What's going on, guys? This is Aaron. This channel is called Hotel Delta, bringing you all things two wheels with an emphasis in Harley Davidsons. And yesterday we got in our 2022 Nightster. Gonna go take it for a quick spin, give you guys my live reaction, see what we think. Guys, have any questions, comment below. Please like and subscribe, and I'll see you on the next ride. What's going on, guys? 2022 Nightster over here, taking it for a quick spin. I have not ridden this bike before, so these are my live reactions. I don't think I like the way the controls are set up. I'd probably ask Kevin to roll them back a little bit. That's just a setup thing, that's not the bike. Pretty comfortable though. So far I am, again, we kind of knew going into it that this was going to be a little more comfortable than the Sportster S. And it definitely is. Seating position's good. Bars are kind of low, which is just what it is. It's a lot like the iron 883 or the old 1200 irons. Put some pretty good heat into it before I try accelerating hard, man. It's nice and light and nimble. Definitely liking the mids. That transmission is ultra smooth. It's set up pretty stiff. I'm definitely feeling the road in my bottom end. So I will say the rear suspension's fairly stiff, and that could just be a setting thing. Sitting on these things, there's tons of preload in the rear shocks. So maybe I'm just getting close to the bottom end of the travel on it. The seat is kind of hard pan style. There's not a lot of give or anything to the seat, but not uncomfortable. I mean, remember, this is not a cruiser. This is definitely your fun around town bike. Nice acceleration. I know there's plenty more in that power band for me to get to, but man, it got to 45 pretty quick. So we had some rain and some drizzle this morning, so some of the roads I normally travel on are a little bit dirty and muddy due to construction. So I decided to come over this way, put a few miles on this thing. This is the shakedown run for this bike. So I was asked specifically, you know, go through all the gears. So yeah, 6-speed, pretty nice. As far as ergonomics and comfort, again, I would definitely roll the levers and everything back or up, I guess you could say, towards me. This bike does have traction control, does have your road modes on it. The 975 motor, a little bit smaller displacement Revolution Max as opposed to the 1250 that comes on the Sportster S or the Pan America. This bike sits very low to the ground, pretty comfortable on it. The bars are a little lower than I would like, but they do make sense on the bike. I am rolled forward just a little bit on it, leaned forward just a little bit. As weird as it sounds to say, this seat's probably a little more conducive to the speed as opposed to the Sportster S. For anyone that has not seen my Sportster S review, you know, the Sportster S is a cool bike, it's just missing a couple things. This bike is way more complete. I would say if you're oh yeah, plenty of acceleration. If you were thinking about the Sportster S, I would say ride this right next to it. The mid controls are nice. I'm trying to think of the words to describe like the seating position. It's a lot like the 883, but I don't feel like my feet are as high. It's definitely a little more comfortable for cruising. Very twitchy feeling. Like I feel like 883s feel like they stand up really tall and the weight sits kind of high. This does not feel like that. This feels a lot more balanced. I feel like the weight is, I don't want to say low, but I want to say neutral. Like it's, the weight of the bike is counterbalancing the weight of me sitting high on the bike. So it definitely feels agile. You can feel that you're definitely on a smaller front tire, but it doesn't feel too small. Whenever it first came in and I looked at it, you know, you see this compared to a Sportster S, and I was worried that this front tire was going to be too small, but no, this actually feels really good, really planted. It doesn't feel like it's keeping me from leaning the bike over, and it doesn't feel like it's wanting to fall too quickly whenever I go to lean it over. The clutch, the brakes feel comparative to the Sportster S and the Pan America. Not quite as much bite as the Pan America, to be honest, which is okay because the brakes on the Pan America are pretty impressive. And I'm kind of used to mine now. Mine's pretty well broke in. So I'm sure once you put some heat cycles through these rotors and pads, the bite will get a little bit better. I was more riding it for the ergonomics, you know, to feel the suspension, to feel the rider triangle. And so far it is definitely delivering. Very comfortable bike. It feels sporty and cruiser-esque at the same time, with plenty of get up, way more get up than the 883, obviously, more power than the 1200. You put that into the equation with the 480 pound motorcycle, and I really like what Harley's got here. And I even like the video they did to introduce it, the idea that you can take this bike and still at the very heart of it is a very customizable bike that you can do anything to. You're buying a platform, and you're buying a platform at a good price with a good motor, good transmission, good brakes. Take that and make it what you will. And that's always kind of been the heart of a Sportster, is it's, you know, the most customizable bike in the world. Very nimble. I feel like I should just go right underneath that Bud Light truck, but I'll wait. And no, this video is not sponsored by Bud Light, as unfortunate as that is. Guys, if y'all have any questions, please hit me up in the comments below. Please like and subscribe as we build this channel. Still enjoying making the videos, trying to expand it as much as possible. Closing in on some of the numbers that I need to get to make this a little more feasible, start putting some money into it. I'm just a guy with a laptop and a GoPro, trying to bring you guys some Harley Davidson content, some two-wheel content. If y'all have any videos, anything you'd like to see me cover, whether it's aftermarket products, whether it's Harley stuff, whether it's motorcycles, please let me know. Well, this is a pretty good test of the suspension up here. This is a railroad crossing. It's not a bad railroad crossing by any means. Not too crazy bumpy. Luckily for us around here, our roads are pretty good. Yeah, it's not bad at all. It definitely feels tight. And you can definitely tell you're on a, you know, smaller bike with smaller tires and wheels. You can't expect the world out of this thing. Not a huge amount of travel. I will say the front end feels a little better, a little more secure than some of the Sportsters of yesteryear. The iron is definitely, you know, one of the more rigid bikes that Harley's made. And whenever you don't change, you know, a style for 40 years, that's kind of what you expect. But out of all the bikes that are, you know, Revolution Max, with the engine being the middle stressed member of the frame, this is probably the more rigid of any of them that I've felt. Even the Sportster S, which doesn't have a whole lot of travel and suspension, this is definitely a little more rigid, and it might also be the seating position a little bit now that I think about it. Definitely have my booty up in the air compared to a Sportster S. And we'll definitely see right here, this is a little bit of rough patch of road with a big bump right here. Yeah, that's not too bad. You compare it to, you know, some of the more rigid Softails, the Breakout, the Fat Boy. It's better than those, so that's not too bad in the rear suspension, and that's without, you know, adjusting it to proper heights or anything. So I think you can make it even better. Yeah, so I will go back and reiterate my thoughts on what I thought this bike would ride like, and it's in the margins for sure. It is a, what I would probably call like a premium beginner bike. Plenty of motor, plenty of power. I don't think this is the smallest bike that we'll see from Harley. I think we'll see something with a little more displacement, or a little bit smaller displacement. I've seen some renditions of a 375, what looks like a flat tracker. Now I don't know if that'll be for the North American sales market or if that's an overseas thing, but it looks pretty badass. And something like that, I mean, Harley's got to come out with something that's under the, you know, the 13K mark, and I think they will. It's just a matter of time. Get off here in just a second and do a quick walk around. I would like to do a couple figure eights on this thing. Ooh, man, it's getting pretty close to the pegs. Not a whole lot of ground clearance, but you know, I'm spoiled coming from the Pan America, so it feels pretty good right and left. The brakes definitely could use a little more force, but again, they're not broke in. I don't pass judgment on brakes until you put some miles and heat cycles through. Pretty well mannered bike though. Very cool. Do a quick walk around. So there it is, guys, 2022 Nightster from Harley Davidson. Something we've been excited about, waiting for a while. Yes, we all know the exhaust is a little gaudy, it's a little big, it's a little overdone. Heat-wise, I didn't feel a whole lot of heat coming off of anything, which that's good. Those wheels look great. I like the wheels. The front end of it, the cowl, the headlight, looks great. Still throwing the Brembo brakes around, that's a good thing to see. Cool pulley. I hadn't really looked at that much, but great design on the pulley. The shocks are real tall, but it doesn't sit up high. I like that the motor is blacked out as opposed to everything else we've seen. Pan America Sportster S. Cool tank design. The gas tank is under the seat. So V-Rod guys rejoice, everybody else, we will all shed a tear. LED lights across the board like that. I like the gauge. A lot more function in this gauge as well. You got your ride mode. Let's see, what does it do? Ride mode. So you got sport, rain, road. Very cool. Guys, I hope y'all enjoy this video. Definitely enjoyed riding the bike, man. It's for a Sportster. That's pretty cool. I'm excited about this bike, and I'm excited about whatever else Harley comes out with. Let me know what you guys think. Please comment below. Like and subscribe, and I'll see you guys next time.